I'm Jezebel, First Comics News, and I am here with JP Roth and Don Matee.
Hello.
Two of the most fabulous ladies that exist on this planet. I absolutely adore them. Met them at San Diego Comicon a few years ago, and I bump into them at cons pretty regularly. I knew that Don was going to be here, but I was pleasantly surprised.
There was some website problems.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we are here.
Yes. And you guys are doing pretty well.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's a very good show. Kansas City is awesome. We love coming here.
Yes, I was very impressed with the floor plan.
Yeah.
And apparently Chris...
Very strong artist alley as well. Lots
Absolutely.
of really cool artists in here this weekend. A real crowd of awesome people.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's pretty busy too. There's quite a few people. Apparently though, Jason Momoa is over here and he's kind of hogging up the people
Came
a
and
little
killed
bit.
our floor a little bit, Jason.
Just a little bit. So what are you ladies working on currently?
We have Divinica 4 coming out soon. That is Chinese mythology, Magu. Dawn did a beautiful Christmas cover for Rothic. I don't know if anybody got to see it. It's gorgeous. Snowflakes and happiness. But Divinica is our primary project at the moment.
Right. And I kind of got to talk to you at San Diego a little bit about it was coming out. But this is now a thing.
Yeah. Divinica's awesome. We launched it last year, in the beginning of the year, and we did 3 episodes last year. We think we're going to do 2 this year. It's quite a taxing series. It's very different than any of the other series. For one thing, she hand draws and hand colors the entire thing, which is awesome.
And every story is a completely new mythology, a completely new character, new background,
design,
new
new layout.
everything. So for
It's rough. I'll grab one of
her,
the
it's
books.
a
Sure.
lovely write.
And Joe is a gorgeous writer. But Dawn is I don't even know what to say about like her artwork is just phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm writing off of her story, so it makes it
her
really
artwork
great.
is phenomenal.
Yeah, it absolutely.
I can hold them. You can show Divinica.
Yeah, do you want to show that? Yeah.
I'll flip
Can we show some pages?
Yeah. So it's a 12-part series.
Okay.
It's actually a 13-part series based on the lunar calendar.
Okay.
And each month will feature a goddess from a different pantheon of mythology. We're focusing on strong, powerful women that had flaws, like the yin and yang of being a goddess. Everybody will be able to identify with at least one of them and find your own. We have, so far, Aphrodite from Greek. We have Nokomis from Native American. She's a beautiful moon goddess. And then we also did Isis. That is a cool story. I love Isis so much. Everybody knows that's Egyptian mythology. Magu is coming next from Mandarin Chinese mythology.
Okay. And your comic books are different than a quote unquote standard comic book.
I feel like they are. I feel like they're much more, I don't know, everybody calls them Rothic novels. They're a little bit different. It's my layout mainly. It's what we've chosen to do with the wording and the art. I'm not like a complete original. There are quite a few series that have kind of do the same thing I do. Not to compare myself with any of the greats, but I definitely use a piece of art and then a piece of writing, almost like art as well. And we kind of merge the stories together.
Sure.
Like kind of like Kabuki in a way with some of our stuff. They do it. Fairy series. What's that beautiful fairy series? There's a few people that kind of mesh the art and writing together like us. But ours are full of a lot of story and art. We have no ads in our books. It's all just pretty glowy stuff.
Right. So you guys generally do quite a few conventions. What's your convention schedule right now?
I don't know hers. This year I'm taking a bunch of time off. I'm finishing my novel. Yes. It will be done this year. It will be published this year. It's what's happening. So I'm taking a break. I'm doing this one because the organizer's a good friend and I wanted to be there. And then I'll do one at the end of the year, which is kind of the same situation. I'll go to Salt Lake City. Okay. But other than that, I think I'm staying home.
Sometimes you have to do that. Like this stuff
and focus on the publishing house.
Yes.
Rothic is going crazy in Diamond, and I gotta make sure we're making books.
Right.
Traveling around
And
everywhere.
you kind of talked about that a little bit earlier, but I don't know exactly how much you want to talk about that, about being with Diamond.
Oh yeah, it's going wonderful. Keep ordering. We sell out all the time. Everything's sold out. I've had to relaunch different episodes. Like I've relaunched all of them now. The fairies are coming out all over again.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we do great.
And
We're a hoot.
and so like the first thing that I immediately notice about the two of you, that you are strong, powerful women.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, I don't know if I always feel like that.
Well,
But I don't know if any woman really ever feels strong and powerful.
Sure.
But thank you.
Of course.
We do like to write about it. We do really I love to write about magic, finding your inner goddess, the strength of a woman, what it means to be a strong woman. Use stories of beautiful, like, feminists.
Sure.
What's the word? No, femininity? What's that word?
Femininity?
Yeah.
And we're kind of in a weird position in society right now.
We really are.
Because humanity has gone through stages where women have been strong, powerful figures, and then we've gone to the bottom where we were, essentially sub of man.
Just being murdered all the time, burnt,
and
drowned.
property.
Yeah, owned. It wasn't good.
No, and so
We didn't do well over those years.
And we're kind of trying to find ourselves again, back into that level of not necessarily put on a pedestal, but like kind of just some type of balance, really.
Yeah, before all of that bad stuff did go down with women, if you read these stories, goddesses were very revered. I mean, it was the sacred feminine.
Sure.
That women were very revered. They were life. They were the head of the home. They were magic. Women did all the magic, so they killed everybody. Seriously, I mean, there was like a ridiculous millions of women killed over those, few centuries. And I think now women are starting to find that about themselves. Women are starting to feel more evolved. They have their own careers. They have their own lives. Nobody is in charge of, what skirt they're allowed to wear or how much makeup to put on. A woman is allowed to now be everybody is allowed to be much more themselves. We live in a beautiful gay community in Long Beach, and just the expression there of everybody really finding themselves and being free to express it. I think it's going to show that women are going to go into real places of power and make a big difference from a way, honestly, only a woman can.
Did you hear about this? A woman was elected. I think she was like the mayor or something of the city in Utah, and 11 people quit the city.
I didn't hear that.
That's crazy.
That was like this week. Yeah, 11 people quit because this woman was elected a position of power and they did not want to work for a woman. And
that angereth me.
I'm kind of blown away. Like, this is 2018, okay?
Yeah.
Like, why? How is this still a thing?
Yeah.
Like, people from Utah need to get their shit together.
I hope this interview doesn't get me in trouble, but this is a very male-dominated industry.
Sure.
Maybe not so much anymore. Women are really starting to show, beautiful talent and work for gorgeous series. But for the longest time, it's a dude city.
Yeah, absolutely, and it still is very prevalent.
Yeah.
So like one of the major women, they've been trying to push women in comic books and put these certain women on pedestals. And so not that I'm necessarily, maybe I'm a little jelly, Katie Cook, but you're not really a great writer. And so I feel like some of these women have managed to get themselves in with a crew of men, and they're pushing those particular women and not necessarily all women.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this industry is a slippery slope. It's not an easy one for sure.
No.
And I mean, but we are we have a good team. I work with three amazing, there are three of us, strong female artists with the team. And then I've had the chance to work with so many other ones, so many wonderful females lately that are, I don't know, they bring something different to the table. Guys have a way of drawing and girls have a way of drawing. And they bring something magical. I don't think you can do one without the other. I think everybody in this industry needs to realize that. I don't think you can do one without the other. They do need to be a little bit more welcoming to the ladies in this world, for sure. More generally, not like there's cosplay and there's a lot of different things that women are involved in, but as far as being the strong creators, there are some, for sure, but few. fewer than.
Sure.
What do we guess? 14% women. If
That's mind blowing.
that I don't know if that's true. I'm guessing from the people I know.
Sure.
I would love to know the stat on that. Maybe it's more, maybe it's way less. I have no idea. That would be my guess. 14-15% female. I mean, with good, with big companies, not
Sure.
Lots of small companies are big
Sure.
companies, but I mean with what we call like the big two,
Sure.
top five.
Well, I mean, so how do we fix this?
I don't know.
It's just women continuing to try to be part of the industry, supporting one another. And,
Definitely by supporting them.
yeah, helping one another, and then, doing the best that you can.
Yeah, I think that's, we just have to try to, I don't know, keep going.
And I don't know that I've ever actually talked to you about this, but how did you decide that comic books was the way that you wanted to express your creativity and art?
It's just going to be one of the ways. I'm going to do lots of different ways. It was just the first one we started with. It was very fluke-like how it happened. I'm not sure for Dawn, probably just because I made her do it, to be honest. Like straight up, I have no idea. I'm assuming that's why. For me, I was originally selling my novel to film, the one I'm finishing this year now. 6 years and 7 series later.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But, I was definitely not counseled, but told that if you go and somehow make yourself a successful comic and get it called classic, and then go into the industry from there, and then go to book, and then go to TV or film or whatever, you started at the groundwork. I just had no idea what I was even attempting to do. I did not realize the beast that is comics. I had no idea. It's been a wild ride, I'll tell you what. A wild ride.
And so, not knowing anything about comic books,
It's okay.
not knowing really anything about comics, how did you navigate your way through trying to break into the industry?
With great difficulty.
And then there were a lot of people that gave us suggestions, told us, even for me, what size paper to draw on.
Yeah, we really had people take us under their wing.
A lot of guys that had been in the industry for a long time and were kind of, and
They helped us.
under their wing a little bit.
Yeah, they helped us.
Advice and suggestions and guidance and all of the stuff we needed to know in order to print the books in the right place. And we were really green.
I printed
about
at Copy for Less
Yeah.
at the beginning. I'm not lying. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know. I just made the books how I thought they looked pretty. And now everybody's like, oh, it's a new style. It's so pretty. And everything like that. And I'm like, I didn't know what I was doing. So I just made the book this way because I thought it looked nice. And then, kind of just went from there. We had great reception. We have a beautiful, stunning product.
Yes.
I found the coolest group of people that jumped on and helped us. And we've had so many people. Ali Garza, Peter Steigerwald, J. Scott Campbell, Paula Pantanella, we had Sun Kunamaki. I can never pronounce your name, Sun. I love you. We have just had so many people that have jumped on all along the way. See, I just named 5 guys and 1 girl, and that's not for me trying to find guys, because I want to find girls. So there's just very few women. Everybody just helped us, and the response from the fans, our Rothites, was ridiculously amazing. We all jumped on in the middle of all the mayhem, and we did a comic for Zenescope. We did Alice in Wonderland Dream Series. I'm not even sure what issue it was, but Dawn, Mike, and Sabine and myself all worked on it, and that got them working with a lot of other companies too. And it just, I don't know, people who were working who love Zenescope, let's say, saw Mike Crumb's stuff online or saw Dawn's stuff online and then would search out Rothic or vice versa, and it really started, people were very responsive to the artwork. And then we had wonderful Ebas who we couldn't have done it without, who helped us every single step of the way.
And it really helps that your stuff
There's people who have come back like 3 times.
It's really, and some of the other stuff that I'm seeing, people trying to break into the industry, some of their stuff's not necessarily the most fabulous.
Yeah.
And you guys you've collected a very well,
fabulous.
a very well fabulous, very talented artists that produce such pretty artwork. I mean, can you hand me that book right there? I mean,
It is mystery dust. Grab the fairies too.
I mean,
It's so cold in here.
it is absolutely, the artwork is just amazing.
Yeah. You guys, we have the best team. You can't do anything without a good team. You can definitely break into this industry if you don't suck. If your stuff is good and worth it. And I mean, our first comic, this was one of our first covers ever drawn.
Okay.
And this this one's colored by Sabine. Peter actually colored the first version of it. We made some changes and Sabine did this one. But it still is my best-selling item right now. And it's from years ago. So, that's kind of the mark of a good, you got something there.
Sure.
If after that amount of time, people are still grabbing the initial pieces and stuff that first came, does that make sense what I'm saying? And stuff that first came out with the series, we're able to reproduce work and resell stuff, and it just, I don't know, the fan response was ridiculous. It was so awesome.
Do you think?
Thank you guys.
Yes, we heart everybody.
Love you.
Do you think that having, a very scantily clad, sexy woman helps with?
I would say so, except that most of my a higher majority of my fan base is women.
Okay.
So it helps the women too then. I guess they like it as well. And not all of it is. I have a fairy series for children. I read about goddesses. So goddesses were scantily clad.
Sure.
So you can't really change that. But it was done in a way of beauty and in a way of not detracting from themselves, but adding to the glory
Sure.
of who they were.
Right.
And you can't really take that out. It detracts from the beauty. What am I going to put Aphrodite in jeans?
Right.
I don't. She's naked.
Right. Cool. Well, let me ask you the final question. If there was one thing that you would want people to know, which they may not, what would it be?
About the industry?
Any way you want to interpret that question.
If something I want people to
If
know.
there's
that
one thing
they
you
may
want
not.
the whole world to know, which they may not, what would it be?
Everybody knows everything about me. Read more Rothic. Get us from the comic book store. Order from Diamond.
Thank you, ladies, so much for your time.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
And it's dawnmcteague.com. You can spell your name.
Rothic.com. Spell my name. I can't spell my name.
Yeah,
Dawn Rothic. No, people will figure it out.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just me that can't spell it. Thank you, Jess.
thank you.
Thank you guys.
For your support.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.